Yeah. Uh huh. Okay. Keeping it organic. Yeah. These niggas can't stand it. Oh, what's good, Jabri? We got you on the live. What's poppin'? On Instagram, and we're on Facebook simultaneously. While I wait for my guest, we could talk about a couple of things, man. A couple of things that's been happening. I really do try to use the theater of the mind and try to record and do things that help us escape from what's going on. But I'm 8 episodes in, and every episode has been about something significant and heavy and weighing us down. And, you know, it's like, damn. It's like, I really want to just be fun, man. I just want to have a good time. But it's really hard to be the escape when there's so much shit going on, dude. So much shit, dude. But, I mean, I want to keep it light. I want to keep it silly. But my guest, Gheri, I'm going to bring her on in a little bit, is going to talk about something that's pretty heavy, which is racism and sexism in porn. But she's not ready yet. When she gets ready, I'll, bring her in, chime her into the show. But at this point, it's just a recording session, so I can edit out any dead weight, dead space, empty space, anything that just doesn't work the way that we imagine it to. And I got some old 80s music videos playing in the background. So I got a ghetto rig today because I'm in a random location. I am not at the house or where I would normally record. I was thinking about recording in the car, but I like the idea that I'm able to go on Instagram and Facebook simultaneously. And if you guys saw the rig, you would laugh because I can't show it to you because the way I have it set up, I'll take a picture of it or something. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. It's been a crazy week. Just it's been like hot as shit in Atlanta. I do pest control, so every once in a while I have to go outside and do things in the exterior. And I would walk around the house once and be covered in sweat. So it's time for me to stop playing with my health and get right. But yeah, I mean, we got so much going on. I mean, the news is moving like a mile a minute, man. Like what normally would be just like, a week's worth of news is like crammed into like 3 hours, and we're being bombarded with a bunch of things that are happening all at once. It's like, Kanye's pretending that he's running for president so he can promote Yandi or whatever album he's dropping. Talking about Harriet Tubman didn't free any slaves. And then he went on to talk about how, they just went to work for other white people. It's like, dude, I mean, a lot of these people were entrepreneurs. They started businesses. And yes, of course, some people worked for other white people in different places, but that was their choice. It wasn't that they were being forced to work. They were deciding to do something, on their own. And, man, I mean, there's that. That's dumb. I mean, it's just distractions. I mean, the president is a damn idiot. People are dying. There's a global pandemic. There's, America, I think, is number 7 in fatalities and COVID cases. Like, it's just insane. And he wants to spend all this time talking about some test that he took in 2018. Oh, it's Preem. What's good, Preem? Yeah, I mean, he wants to talk about this stupid-ass test that he took, a cognitive test, just to see if he wasn't senile. And he's like, talking about some foolishness. I think he said some shit like, and that's gonna be. I'm probably gonna make T-shirts or hats or something because that shit is hilarious. It's like man, person. No, it says person, man, woman, TV. That's some bullshit. It's like, dude, what are you talking about? The dude is clearly senile, but I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is I'm just trying to keep my peace and just not really focus on this type of stuff, man. The election, the politics. Everyone is up in arms about anything that anyone is doing all the time. And I feel like me just putting myself in a position where I could be somebody who talks about things on a platform, I'm pretty much setting myself up for failure, because it's only a matter of time before I say some shit. It's going to piss everybody off. And what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I don't know. I might as well just cancel myself right now. But I do want to talk about something that I didn't realize was so commonplace, which pretty much is just like, black people, no matter what your status is, no matter what your education level is or level of intelligence is, you're going to fall victim to profiling. And I try my best not to. No, matter of fact, here's the thing. My grandmother is the one who spent most of the time raising us. And she spent a lot of time, working. She was a registered nurse. And so I always hear about black people talking about this thing that they had to do, this conversation that they had to have with their parents, where they broke it down for them about how to deal with cops, and they sat them down and they were like, look, man, this is how you do it. This is how it goes down. If a cop talks to you, this is what you need to do. I never had this conversation. I didn't grow up with a dad. I didn't grow up with anyone to really like break it down for me. So this preconceived notion that a lot of people, black Americans, have, I never really had a chance to experience until it was too late, because it never registered to me, cop bad or whatever. Like, you're a person of color, you probably shouldn't involve yourself with the cops for no reason, especially if you're living in Georgia. Now, mind you, I'm from New Jersey. I spent most of my life in New Jersey, and that's where I lived. I'm from New Jersey. I stayed in Jersey. I was in the middle of the ghetto where people were getting robbed and shot and killed all the time. And I kept to myself. I never really bothered anybody. I never really got involved in any like street life, hood shit, none of that shit. But I was always hood adjacent, and I don't know. It just never registered to me. So I come to the South, and I'm in a situation way back, and I hope this is the last time that I have to tell this. I might tell it in like a fancy way. I might like sit down with people and just do like a story time and break down the whole situation about what happened to me back in 2017, I think it was. No. It was 2007, I think. There was a stint between 2007 and 2000 and I don't know, man. 2009, I can't remember. It was a blur. But it all started from this one incident where I felt that my life was being threatened. There were several men standing outside, obviously drunk, trying to pick a fight with me. And this is my first time in the South. I've probably been here for like 4 months. And I was just getting acclimated with the people in the city. I was starting to get like a couple of, familiar faces and friends that I would see around. And I took my Jersey shit to wherever I went. And I was loud. And I was boisterous. And I was expressive. And people in the South don't seem to like that shit. They want you to be like, oh, yes, boss. Whatever you say, boss. Mm-hmm. Oh, I sure is happy about having this job, sir. Oh, yes, sir. All right, now. And it never registered to me. So when these random dude, like, I don't know who this guy is, what the fuck is going on with him, walks up to me, and he goes, he's chewing his snuff. He goes, hey, I don't like the way you're moving your hands there, boy. And I said, what? And there were 5 other guys with him. And I said, who the yo, who the fuck, what are you talking about? And I started doing my whoop, whoop, whoop. And then a bunch of dudes jumped in. So now it's 1 against 5, 4, whatever. And I'm like, man, fuck this. And so I kind of broke off away from the dudes that were trying to tussle with me. And I ran to the Waffle House. And I picked up I asked them if I could use their phone, because at the time I didn't have like a cell phone or anything. Asked them if I can use their phone. And they said, yeah. I called the cops. I said, look, I live at my grandmother's house, literally like around the corner. It's like, there's the corner where this happened. There's the Waffle House. There's the Quick Trip. My grandmother's house is right there, like right there. So I called the cops and I asked them, hey, can you escort me to my house? Because I'm outnumbered. This isn't my town. I understand this is an open carry place. Maybe people might have guns. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know why these dudes are picking a fight with me. Can someone escort me home? So I called the cops for help. My dumb ass, naive ass called the cops to help me get home because I didn't know what the fuck was happening. And at the time, I was on some kind of like journey or something. I don't know what the fuck. But I had a library card. Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. Anyway, I had a library card, and I got a whole fuckload of materials. I got the autobiography of Malcolm X, because my aunt had bought it for me, as told to Alex Haley. My aunt had made me read it once, and I read it, but I didn't. There were some sections in the middle where he was talking about, like, you know, history and stuff that didn't really register for me. So I didn't really, like, you know, I wanted to read it again. Because I was so engulfed in, like, the storyline, that I was so worried about, like, the characters and the story and all that shit, that I didn't really register, like, the historical portions where he was, like, trying to break stuff down. So I kind of skipped that part over, like, mentally. So I had the autobiography of Malcolm X in my backpack, the autobiography of Malcolm, a memoir or biography of Martin Luther King, a couple of, like, tapes of stuff. What's good? It's James Brown. Ha! Hey, it's James Brown, y'all. He's in the building. Hey, James. Yeah? What we gonna say now? Yeah? Moving? Yeah. Grooving? Yeah. I'm tired. I know this nigga is probably tired of hearing people with the James Brown jokes. It's like, yes, my name is James Brown. Yes, like the Soul Man, like the Sex Machine. Yes. Uh-huh. Hilarious. Yep. Made me want to jump back, kiss myself. Hey, sorry about earlier. Ooh. Okay. Let me, I'm being distracted, y'all. So I'm going to continue telling the story. So look what happened, right? Bet. So, I had all these Black Power books in my bag, sort of. Like, I was just reading random stuff. I think at one point I had even gotten Mein Kampf with the intention of reading it just to understand, like, what would possess a person like Hitler to even, like, really be as insane and as manipulative as he was to be able to get all these people on his team. But it keeps you famous. Hell yeah. Okay, so I don't know what reason the cops were digging in my backpack, but for some reason I had my books in my backpack. And I guess, and I have no idea, this is all speculation, my guess is that he knew the kid that was trying to fight me and his people, and he thought that I might have been, like, on some black militant shit. And hold on. Yeah, so he thought that I was I don't know what they thought, right? But when I'm excited and things are going on, I'm not calm and subdued. I'm 19 years old. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I talk fast. I move fast. I'm from New Jersey, man. Like, a lot of people think that being Jamaican, being West Indian, of West Indian descent, and being living in New Jersey is like a double whammy. Because it's like these dudes are like, these dudes are like extra loud. I mean, if you've ever seen a West Indian person tell a story or speak, they're putting on a production every time. That's what Abib just talked about this shit the other day. It's always a show, right? And then on top of that, you put Jersey nigga on top of that. It's like, hey, yo, I don't know what the fuck. Yo, I'm just sitting here minding my fucking business, dog. Like, I don't even know, man. So they don't know what the fuck to do. They just like, yo, this dude is obviously on drugs. Gotta be. There's the only way. I got something to tell y'all. I might have puffed a blunt every once in a blue moon, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 times in my life. Never been high. Might have taken a sip of some alcohol. Didn't like the taste. So I never really pushed myself to get drunk. So never been drunk. There's no moral or religious purpose for it. I don't believe that people are lesser or more if they drink or smoke or whatever, or partake in any kind of extracurricular activities. I just never got around to it. So, I don't know. Anyway, all I know is, they thought that I was something. I knew that I wasn't. Yeah, we definitely got to change that. And I've been thinking about that. I actually been thinking about doing that, but also documenting it and kind of like making it a series. Like, well, I'm going to get drunk for the first time, and then we're going to film the whole fucking thing and make like a little like mini web series about it. Like, 33-year-old guy gets drunk for the first time ever or some shit, 33-year-old guy tries coke for the first time. We're doing the episode number 450,762, Late Bloomer Podcast. Oh. Okay, so some wine. I sip wine. It doesn't get me drunk. It doesn't get I might feel a little like chill or whatever, but I don't get drunk. I don't know. Anyway, I guess I'm telling the story. So the cops basically locked me up. The guy that I called the cops on went home. And my grandmother and her husband at the time, who we do not speak of anymore because he's a cunt, bailed me out. 19 years old. First time I've ever been arrested in my entire life. First time. My guess is probably the last time because I'm not a criminal. Sorry. I love you guys. I appreciate all you street brothers that out there in the trenches. But I'm not, nor will I ever pretend to be a street nigga. I get nothing out of that. I gain nothing from that. Now, I'm hood. I have hood tendencies. I like ghetto things. But that's because I can appreciate the culture that it comes from. And I understand it. And I connect with it. And my heart bleeds for the people that are in these places. Because I witnessed firsthand. The people who just don't want or are given an idea of who they are and accept it. But I know that the appeal of this ghetto stuff, I understand it. I don't glorify it. But I appreciate the aesthetic. Dirty Dancing. Yeah, man. Okay, so we're going to continue telling the story while I stall for time until my guest comes. I hope she didn't fall asleep. Anyway. So, Yeah. Pretty much it's like this. First time getting arrested, my guess is probably the last time I get arrested. Now remember, I never had the talk that everyone talks about. Like, I swear, I promise you that I hear this on all kinds of stuff. News outlets, black TV shows. There's always that thing where they talk about that talk that they have, where they have to sit down with the black young man and explain to him what it's like. You know, if a cop comes, you got to do this and this, and here's the rules and regs and how to do this so you don't get killed. But my guess is that, yeah, I never had the conversation, so I thought that, the cops were going to help me. Didn't turn out that way. And this pretty much opened Pandora's box. It went from my first time in my entire existence getting arrested to getting arrested 4 or 5 times, I can't remember, consecutively. And most people that get arrested as often as I had gotten arrested have some kind of a mental disorder. Something's wrong with them. But my problem was that I was just young, and I was in the wrong place at the wrong time on too many occasions. And what happened was these things happening and subsequently just making me end up in places where I just, ended up in a world that I would never have gotten into had I not just called the cops and asked for help. And so the story goes on. I mean, it goes on. And the problem that I have with this whole situation, no, hold on. The problem that I have with this whole situation is that they tried to ruin me and tell me what I was. Tell me that I was a juvenile delinquent. Tell me that I was an addict. Tell me that I was crazy. Tell me that I was incapable of communicating my thoughts without making people in the room uncomfortable. Tell me that I was homeless, because I ended up being homeless because of this whole thing, because my family didn't want me to stay with them. But here I am. And so I think that the reason why the whole divorce thing fucks with me a little bit more than most people is because I got out of that shit. You got to understand that this whole thing happened 10 years ago. Yeah. Like almost 10 years ago. And I'm still traumatized by the fucking shit. Being in solitary. Having to be on probation for 5 years for a felony for some arbitrary fucking technicality where it's like, well, you didn't try to hit a cop, but you didn't make contact with a cop, but you tried to hit him. It's like, I didn't try to hit a cop. You think you can't say that nowadays, but you think I'm stupid? You think that I'm mentally incapable of comprehending that you don't physically attack a police officer? I did not try to hit no damn cops, but it was my word against theirs. And at that time, getting locked up was a violation of probation. So they had tacked on 2 years, a year and some change of me to have to serve time. And then asked me, hey, you can get 2 choices. You could build a trial. Maybe they'll get you off or figure out what we need to do to rearrange your whole situation. Or, I know you've been in here for like a year and some change. You're probably ready to go home. It'd be easier for me and you if We just took the plea. So what if we just did 5 years probation? You just serve 2 years, and now you do 3 years probation. And then once you complete the probation, the felony is expunged. You plead nolo. Good, right? This system is not designed for people to succeed in that thing. Because if you look at my record and you see that I got locked up 4 times prior, right? Most people that get locked up that often have a drug problem, a mental health problem, something, right? Fortunately, I didn't have any of those things. So I was able to complete the probation, have the felony expunged from my record, etc., etc. But the fact that I even had to do this shit in the first place is fucking stupid. And so I don't think that anyone who has a history of getting locked up would ever just change and then automatically be able to complete 4 years probation. I had to take piss tests. Luckily, I don't smoke. So I was able to pass all the drug tests. I had to somehow make it to probation, but I didn't have a car or a job or a place to live. But somehow I was able to figure out how to get it done. Then I went into a transitional housing program that was able to help me pay off all that shit, pay off all my fines, then get my probation complete. But if I hadn't gotten assistance from an outside source, I would be back in the jail again, serving the rest of the 3 years for my 5 years felony probation. So let's talk about porn. Sorry for being a downer, but the whole episode is supposed to be about pornography. And so I'm going to call my guest Gheri. So we got Paid in America in the building. We got Queendom in the building. We got Who is Joy in the building. We got Preem in the building on Instagram. We got Theo Taiwan in the building. We got Trabi in the building. We got Simply Shay in the building. What the hell? On my way? Huh? What are you talking about? Hello?
Hey, I'm calling. Hey.
What is going on?
I'm so sorry. There is a crack in my screen, so if you call me, I can't answer. I have to call you back. I'm so sorry. The disrespect. Hello?
No, you Gucci. So what's good?
What's good? What have you been talking about? You talking about police, how they set up the black man?
They set me up. They tried to ruin my fucking life.
Because you black, baby. It's because you black.
I'm not black. I'm yellow.
You are yellow, but they can see the difference. You don't look like a...
No, they set me up because I look Mexican. They thought I was Mexican.
Okay, so you brown. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't look... you ain't the right color. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
Damn, that's messed up, man. I had to learn the hard way. Man, if I would just went to Gwinnett County College...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, like, I could have just applied to school and just stayed out of this shit and just, like, after I got locked up the first time. But what the fuck, man? Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
That's part of y'all's life, unfortunately. That's part of being a black man. What is it, like 1 in every 3 black men get locked up within their lifetime?
Man, that's bullshit.
Before the age of 40?
That's bullshit.
It's by design. It's by design. What were you... So, I missed the first half of the podcast.
Yes.
So I kind of came in with you talking about these things now. I know that we were supposed to be talking about the racism and sexism and...
in the porn industry.
In the porn industry.
Yes.
So, don't know how we segue into that, but yes, I'd love to talk about this. I'm sorry that you had these experiences. Let's talk about porn.
But listen, but the point I'm making is this, man. The situation should not have happened at all.
No.
At all. And I'm still traumatized by that fucking shit. And I feel like I need to call Gwinnett County Police, Gwinnett County Commissioner, or some. I got pulled now. I mean, I got homies that are senators now that are in the fucking. Yeah. Like, I got a dude that I call all the time that is actual, like, district senator, state representative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's trying to make changes, and I feel like, there's a way that I could get some kind of compensation for that fucking pain and distress that they put me through, dog.
That's true. That's a way of going about it. I think that's a way that will cause you even more distress in the long run.
I need closure, man. I need them to say.
I understand that. I can understand that. I think there is a bigger picture going on where you'll get more than closure because it won't be just you. But that's another podcast for another time, maybe.
Right. So people be jacking off to porn and shit, right?
Yeah.
But then racist shit be happening, and they go, "Oh well," and they keep jacking off.
Yep. Yep. And then they feel bad about it after they come.
Yeah. So it's like you nut, and then you go, "Damn, that was some racist shit."
Yeah. You know what's bad is wanting to find couples, like amateur couples even, that definitely put a lot of work in with each other. Like you can tell they like each other. You can tell maybe they love each other.
Yeah.
And you might find a couple that makes tons of videos and good content.
Yeah.
But they still title their stuff like "Girl Next Door's Slutty Whore." Actually, it's gonna be worse than that. It's gonna be like "Ratchet Ass Bitch Down the Street gets pounded," and it's like that's their girlfriend of 10 years.
Is this the thing that happened? Because I don't really watch porn, so I don't really know.
Oh, shut up! Like you don't watch porn. Shut up.
Never seen it before. Never looked at the stuff. Ugh.
Okay.
I mean,
but you still know what I'm talking about. When there's black people involved anyway, because of course, me personally being a black person, I do like to see black people.
Well, I don't watch porn, but from what I hear, black porn is really not great quality production. From what I hear, like I don't watch porn, so I'm not really sure.
So since you don't watch porn, I guess you can just be quiet and just let me just talk this entire time, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Right. So,
I got off of Facebook. It just died. Damn it! I should have put the fucking. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, Facebook died. Go ahead.
Okay, we're still IG. Okay, so where do I begin? I guess where I want to start. So I guess since we're already kind of on the topic of racism and kind of going through racism, I'll start with that. Just the fact that if you want to find, black people doing their thing with whatever other fetish you have on top of them being black, because that might be a fetish, that's just because you just want to see black people, just prefer black people. Let's say you like black people, but then you want to see a little bit of a bondage or something. So, you might go to one of your favorite bondage, or maybe you don't have favorites. Maybe you just type in black bondage or ebony bondage.
Or James bondage.
Shut the fuck up. So then you probably will end up getting somebody black that gets treated way worse than somehow the Asians and the whites and the other people within these, for some reason they get treated just a little bit worse.
Hey, Jerry, you think you could tell people on Facebook that we're on Instagram, Bloomer Pod?
Sure. Is your Facebook still on?
It probably died, but maybe you could put it in the comments.
Okay. Give me just a second. Let me put this speaker.
Sorry.
But yeah, so that's one thing, and I might be a little bit biased with that. But I mean, I've just noticed things over the years.
So what have you noticed?
Well, the main thing I really want to talk about was sexism within the porn industry.
Okay.
But just starting with racism, though, and just, the excuse is always, well, it's about fantasy. It's about fantasy. So that's why they can go to certain extremes within porn, with the plots or just the way that they name things or the type of setup that they set up for you to be, because obviously these people are not having sex with their brothers and sisters or stepbrothers or whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand that shit. I think I don't know why they're trying to push it so hard. The incest shit. I don't.
Yeah, me and you talked about the whole incest.
Yeah, I don't think people really give a fuck about that. I really just think it doesn't.
But here's the thing. That's got to not be true, because if that were the case, it would get no play.
Yeah.
On porn sites, and it's like the main thing you see on the front page is gonna be brother has sex with stepmom.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. And sometimes it's not steps. Sometimes it's especially the daddy shit.
Right.
I cannot stand the daddy having sex with baby girl.
Ugh, it's the worst. But
yeah.
real quick, I want to stay on the racism thing. What I did notice was that the same people who would go, well, the Dixie flag is for heritage. A lot of times, that symbolism is used in porn, specifically when it's an interracial thing, to indicate that they're like shitting on like racism, or they're shitting on the black person by blazing them the Confederate flag, or putting a Confederate flag T-shirt on them after they bust or whatever. Like just.
But you don't watch porn, right?
No, I've never watched it, but my friend told me about this. He was like, yo. They be doing these girls dirty, and they'll be like, fucking them and saying shit like, oh, how about Tyrone? You're not gonna fuck with black guys no more, huh? No, baby, no, I only white men from now on. Shit like that. It's so weird.
I've never seen that before, but I believe you. Because, I mean, some of the stuff I see will be like, even the reverse racism porn, where they have a white girl on the couch, they asking her questions, and she's like, "Yeah, I hate black people." Like, and I was like, you about to get fucked by one right now.
Right.
Like,
I mean, here's the thing. I think that.
But this black nigger dick, like,
yeah,
anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. I think that porn in general is just racist, like overall, and
really bad.
Like, there's nothing like that has black women in it that doesn't say ebony bitch or ebony slut or ebony whore or ghetto bitch or whatever, and it's like,
this is a lovely woman.
Yeah, I mean,
having sex with her husband.
I don't know, and you're right about the thing where it's like there's a very small niche of people, amateur porn people, who do these sensual.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a plug in for
Rock and Shay, yeah. People like that. It's.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a plug in for Loyalty and Royalty, even though he does do the clickbait titles.
Okay.
Okay, I love them because I can tell they love each other and they have a good time with each other. They
right.
a little hood, but they have a good time with each other. You can tell they love each other.
Right.
I'm gonna also put a plug in.
A butt plug.
I mean, it is what it is.
She's at my house. She's at her house.
I forgot their names. Oh, now that we talking about porn, people got stuff to say. I see. Okay. Anyway.
Right. But okay. You got, so you know about these couples. So yeah. So this thing.
I told you I watch porn. You watch porn too, nigga.
I've never watched porn in my life, really, to be honest.
Okay. Right.
But these people.
I'm gonna make you slip up. And say something. I'm gonna catch you before the podcast is over.
These people that you speak of are having sensual sex that is healthy.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Rock and Shay don't use clickbait titles. They just kind of be like, fucking in the living room. You
right.
know, caught her slipping in the bathroom, type of stuff like that. Loyalty and Royalty do a lot of role playing.
Oh, that's weird. Like, that's weird for me to be like, hey, I'm a doctor and you're my nurse, or.
They're so cute though. It's such bad acting, but it's like just the right amount of plot, and they do it themselves. Like, you can tell they're having fun. They be coming home from a club, they be like, hey baby. Like, you can tell, like, they was like, let me set the camera up real quick. I'm gonna pretend like I just met you outside this club. And they are so cute with it though. And then they'll record and they'll go back and cut it up and make like a little sequence. And then he took her home, and she was like, oh, I gotta really get home soon because blah blah blah. He was like, oh baby, don't go. And they do the little thing. Sometimes they'll do, like, one was really funny. He was on probation, and she was his probation officer. And she came over and she was like, you got weed in this house? He was like, oh, no, I ain't got no weed.
Wait. Hold on, wait.
The sample.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, Jerry. Give me 1 second. You mean to tell me
yes.
that you actually follow the storylines?
I love Loyalty and Royalty, honey. Yes. So this is what I was going to get into when it came to the sexism
okay.
of porn. So the thing is, like, there's not too much porn that you'll find on free sites such as, Xvideos, Pornhub, and
YouPorn.
Yeah, there's not too many things that you'll find on these particular sites that were made for the woman's eyes. Now, there are categories that say, feminine porn. But even those categories were curated by men. And most of the stuff that you'll find in those categories are still for men's eyes, such as lesbian porn, which is mostly made for men to watch. These women they're still acting. They're not actually pleasuring each other. They're doing what looks cool on, they're being directed behind the scenes
right.
to flap their tongue as fast as they can over this girl's clit.
Right.
Suck on the fucking lips or whatever. Excuse me if I'm being too graphic, but it's literally
we're talking about porn.
I'm just saying, they'll literally do the same things that you'll see the guys doing.
Hold on, someone said XNXX. Chevy said that.
Yeah, XNXX. That's another site. Same thing.
And then Maisha said that role play is fire. I don't get it. It's not for me. I don't get it.
Yeah, nobody asked you though.
Oh damn!
It's your podcast.
And then somebody said, "Oh, what an interesting turn of events." Chevy said that. It's funny because I was literally just talking about like black police brutality and mistreatment.
Exactly.
Anyway,
I said that when we first got on the phone, but it's gonna be interesting to change the subject over to. But yeah. So back on topic, like there's not a lot of things that you'll find that actually truly interest women. What's really sad is there's so many. How do I put this? You got so much porn out there that they'll categorize and say, okay, so must be what women want to see. They didn't ask any women what they want to see. They just was like, this has got to be it, lesbian porn, or
right.
This, that, third. But it's like, no, and I definitely don't want to see two women who aren't even gay. They're not even gay.
Pretending to be gay, yeah.
Pretending to be gay for the money.
Right. Gay for pay.
Doing things on screen that will only turn a man on. This is not what actual lesbian sex looks like. I can tell that none of you guys involved have ever even seen two lesbians have sex, have the pleasure of being able to see two real lesbians having sex.
So, what kind of porn? Someone asked you a question. They said, "What are you into as far as like if it were lesbian porn? What would you consider to be realistic lesbian porn? Would it be like someone who's a masculine or a femme on top of someone?"
I think you're missing I think the person who asked that question is absolutely missing the entirety of the point.
Okay.
So what I'm going to get into now are different types of not feminine. Yeah, like feminine porn.
Okay.
Porn that would actually be meant for female consumption.
Okay.
So good examples of that. I gave some examples actually before. Like I said, there's not any that you can find on free sites. There have been plenty of women who have started their own porn sites that are for the female eye, such as Make Love, Not Porn. Although that site costs a lot of money for the subscription.
Right.
There's another site called Beautiful Agony.
Beautiful Agony.
So Make Love, Not Porn is, I think, with that particular site, not only do you have to pay a good amount of money to be able to get other people's stuff on there. I think these are your regular people who post videos of either themselves or them and their mates making love. And
but there's no professional stuff?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
Not to my knowledge. Now, I learned about this particular website through a TED Talk. The lady who owns the site talked about porn and the violence of porn and how it needs to be focused more. It was more to like saving the planet type of thing rather than just helping women out.
Right.
It's more like, hey, violent porn actually has fucked up our psyche as a people. Mm-hmm. So here's this site. Stop fucking people's psyche up.
Right.
Yourself.
Right.
So that's what that was about. That's Make Love, Not Porn. I haven't subscribed to it because I think in order for you to be able to see other people's stuff, I think you have to upload your own content as well. Mm. So I don't have a partner for which I'm comfortable with doing that.
Right.
So that's why I'm not doing it.
I mean, but people can do solo stuff too, right?
I think so, yeah, but I'm just not. That's not really, I'm not if I'm doing something for me, it's for me. I'm not gonna put up a camera, and record myself. Maybe I would, but it still would be for me and not for a site for me to be able to watch other people. I'd rather find another way to watch other people.
Right.
I'd rather watch my real friends.
Hey, can you hold on? Hold on 1 second.
Okay, I'll hold on.
Matter of fact, continue to talk. Hold on.
Got you. Let me stop exposing myself and keep back on the subject.
Do you want me to make you anonymous and then no one knows who you are?
I don't really care. I've talked about this subject a million times, and I'll talk about it again.
All right, hold on a second.
Girl, where I'm headed with my life, this ain't gonna slow me down. Okay? No. On where I've been. Okay, anyway.
I'm gonna have to run to the gas. Thank you so much. Okay, so basically you're saying that, okay, so I know that this is out of my element of my realm because this is something that I was joking about not watching porn, but this is something I genuinely have never seen.
Okay, gotcha.
Gay man's porn. Is it also directed in that manner where it's like kind of like directing towards men that are aggressive, masculine?
Okay, so gay porn, which I do watch a lot of.
You watch a lot of gay men porn?
Yes, I do, honey. Because
Okay.
it helps me find a little bit more of what I want to see. Because a lot of times in gay porn, I think I've said this to you before.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times in gay porn, okay, so like let's say the kink is like rough sex, just rough sex or rough oral or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you search that, going through cis porn, cishet, straight porn, you're gonna find dudes really going at these women's heads and really like treating them bad. And it's supposed to be acting, right? Like, I mean, it is acting to a certain extent,
Right.
you know. But like they do their makeup just to make sure their makeup looks a hot ass mess at the end of the clip.
Yeah.
You know,
But,
and the messier the better.
right.
I have never seen gay porn where the guy is treated as bad as I have seen a woman treated regularly with rough sex.
So they're like, you good, bro? You good?
I've seen that before. I've seen, like a lot of times with gay porn, it's not as well produced
Really?
as straight porn.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it is. You got some professional gay porn actors out there, but it's not as much content of very professionally produced male gay porn.
Right.
So then you don't get a lot of cut scenes where they cut and then ask the actors, are they okay?
Right.
Sometimes in the middle of it, they'll be like, hey, bro, don't go that hard on them. What are you doing, bro? I've heard that before.
Oh, wow.
Said, like, hey, bro, like, you doing a bit too much. And I've heard, like, them stop and be like, can you breathe? I've heard them stop and say, are you okay?
Wow.
Different stuff like that. I've never, even in more not amateurish, because... But even, like, just in straight
like
porn,
Habib show, like those guys that just like abuse those girls like that.
Yeah, and straight porn, I have never seen where they are actually considerate of the women. I've seen in the bondage ones with bondage and SMS and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
S&M, where they'll have interviews with them before or after.
Yeah,
or
I've seen that. Yeah.
But during, if you don't say the safe word, okay. And of course, if you did say a safe word, they're gonna cut that, and they'll probably cut whatever happened to where you ended up saying that safe word for the safety. You signed a contract or whatever. But
So you think that almost all porn, straight porn, gay porn, lesbian porn, they're all dominated by straight white men who have like these aggressive natures, who have no interest in being kind or nice to the actors?
That is all of America as far as capitalism goes.
Wow. So what industry?
Except for that last part of your statement when you said actors, if you would just take actors out of that sentence, that statement can go for almost every entertainment industry, maybe even beyond entertainment in this country.
Wow. And that's the thing that makes me kind of curious about people. And no offense to my white brothers and sisters, but the interracial marriages, I feel like, are there those things happening behind closed doors where the woman is just being degraded, being called the N-word, but in a setting where it's sexual and it seems to be like acceptable?
It was fantasy. That's what they do or use to sell, doing very destructive, saying very destructive and horrific things within porn, rape fantasies. You can't actually say the word rape. We can't actually search for rape, but you can search the word forced and get pretty much the same thing. And you can't tell with some of these videos whether they're acting or not. Some of them.
Right, right.
Some of them you really can't tell.
And one thing, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. And then like I said, you have them being bluntly and blatantly racist. That's the only place where you can be blatantly racist and people are like pretty much okay with it is in the porn industry. That's as far as I can think of. The only place where a white person can say the word nigger freely and not get punched in the face, you know, or not lose their job because it's part of their job. Like, you know, it's the porn industry. And
well, actually, there's two places that you could say the N-word freely.
Where?
It's on a porn set, right? And a Quentin Tarantino movie.
The only place where a white person,
yes, white person, a Quentin Tarantino movie,
call somebody else a nigger, and the other person has to act like they like it.
You stepped all over my joke.
But I'm sorry for ruining your joke.
Okay.
Anyway,
but yeah, you're right.
So there's that. There is, like I said, there's things that go on really bad in gay porn where you have
talking about gay lesbian or gay men.
Gay male porn. I can literally go to any category you can think of, and I can tell you how all the porn is shit right now. So in gay porn, you got the situation, the fantasy of a gay man turning a straight man gay, turning them out.
Is that a real thing? Because I heard that a lot. I feel like I heard a gay guy, Tim Dillon, talking earlier, and he said that it's not a thing really. I mean, you don't just decide one day that you're gonna just do gay shit with a dude and say that you're straight unless you're on drugs or you're trying to get drugs. He said most of these dudes already kind of had it in them a little bit.
Yeah, that's not anything what I was talking about, though.
I know. I get it. But you're saying that...
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't want to go off topic,
but... What that perpetuates is a fantasy. Not saying that it started with porn, but there's a fantasy of turning dudes out. And the thing is, yeah, I think I get what you were trying to say because, yeah, you know, if you are somewhat, you know, on the spectrum of sexuality, you might have a curiosity there.
Yeah.
You may need a little nudge. But the thing is, it should always be your decision. Right. You shouldn't have anybody coerce you into sex. Now, women are very used to being coerced into sex.
That's one thing, too. Yeah, there's a lot of gay men that talk about turning out a straight dude, but I don't really hear too much about straight women. I mean, gay women turning out straight women.
Oh, that happens, too.
I mean, but I don't hear them talk about it as openly as a gay dudes be talking about flipping straight men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think that goes into like the culture of things, like steering off from porn, but going into the culture of things. Lesbian women, once they reach a certain age, they're not really trying to play games like that. They're ready to settle down. You know, they settle down very quickly, so they're not looking for somebody who's confused. Right. They want somebody who knows what they want.
So the fantasy of the porn and this whole thing that they create, why do you think that shooting these turnout or supposed or fake, you know, acted out reenactments of someone turning a straight guy gay, why is this problematic to you?
It's not problematic to me specifically, but it does cause, like I said, I don't think it started with porn, but I still think it perpetuates and feeds a certain kind of behavior.
The gay agenda thing that people think is a thing, right? If people think that gay dudes are trying to turn people out all the time, then they're kind of justifying this whole fear that there's a gay agenda and they're trying to turn people or something. You don't think so?
I mean, the gay agenda is
bullshit.
What they think the gay agenda is more than just turning people gay. So I'm not going to say that. But what I will say is, you know, the fear, just homophobia, period. That doesn't help with homophobia. Yeah,
so you're saying that these type of turnout videos that they're producing is kind of, you know, it's not good for the gay community because it perpetuates a stereotype that...
It feeds into a fantasy, which causes just as much turmoil as you feeding into incest fantasies or feeding into racial fantasies or feeding into pedophilia fantasies.
Right.
In hentai and in... you know, porn, bukkake, whatever they're little girls.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot act like, I mean, I understand that the culture is one way or whatever, but the culture stems around these Lolitas and little girls.
Right.
That
Right.
whole culture and their whole sexuality is very weird over there, right?
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm.
weird, but
Yeah.
it's weird everywhere. If you think about anywhere where a country is sexually repressed, there are a lot of weird things about sexuality, period, and how they go about sexual fantasies, how they go about porn, how they go about courting each other, how they go about interacting with each other sexually behind closed doors.
Right. Right.
It gets really weird the more sexually repressed the country is. So that includes Japan. That includes America.
Yeah, I think that the reason why stepmom and incest is so popular is because a lot of men might actually. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. And the whole thing with the pretending like a girl who's actually 18. I didn't say anything just now, but pretending like a girl who's actually 18 is younger and putting like fake braces on her and putting pigtails on her. That shit is weird, and it definitely borders on pedophilia and normalizing pedophilia.
Yeah, it's like the thing of the matter is we can't actually get a little girl in here that's illegal. What we can do is dress up somebody who just turned 18.
Who looks young.
Who, already looks young. We can dress you up to look like a 12-year-old and have you be a cheerleader and have sex with your coach. We can have you, be a school, you in school making bad grades. You got to make extra credit after class. Sometimes it's not even a plot. Sometimes it's just I'm fucking this little girl. It's like literally the whole thing, the whole channel or whatever it's called, barely
legal.
Yeah, barely legal and stuff like that. And that's it. That's the fantasy. I want to fuck little girls.
That's weird, man. So,
but it's very normal in porn.
So that's one thing that has become more popular or more it's become more known that it's happening is that there are websites like Pornhub who are allowing actual pedophilia to happen because their verification system is very whatever. It's just like you put your name in and you put your age in. Like they don't have no identification verification. And so there's people who are 15, 16 posting videos that are literally pornography on Pornhub that they just never flagged and they never took down.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's been happening. And
yikes.
Yeah, I mean, there's I don't know what's happening exactly. I don't know how to explain what's happening, but it's almost as if there's been this huge underbelly of pedophilia that has existed for so long, and now it's coming out to the forefront, and people are panicking.
People are panicking.
Yeah, I mean, like, Jeffrey Epstein, and then his girl, and then, like...
who are these people you speak of that are panicking? Because I'm happy that it's coming to the forefront.
The people that are panicking are the ones that are partaking in this foul behavior.
And there's plenty of them.
And there's so many of them that I'm like, what the hell? Why are there so many of them? You know what I mean? And
I mean, think about it. It's like my thing about this is like the type of porn that exists that is plentiful and full of abundance that has existed for so long that we fell into easily discovering as the internet became a thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's always been very apparent how sick at least this country is. And then, like I said, if you get into exploring, stuff made from other countries or whatever, it's kind of very easy to see how sick the world is. Just through porn and porn alone. I mean, you can find other ways to see how sick things were, but like just the porn industry alone. And like the first thing we said when we started this podcast and switched the subject matter over was, yeah, you jacking off to some racist shit and then you come, but then you feel bad after you watch it. Like that's the process most of the time when you're watching porn. Is it's gonna be something that by the time you do find something quote unquote good enough to feed into whatever fantasy you have,
yeah.
By the time you're done, you're not going to feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Right? That's kind of like the pattern of it, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, when I watch feminine porn, I don't feel that way. I feel great after I come. And the thing is, like, it's not very plentiful. No, it's scarce.
Yeah.
But I just only mentioned. I'm gonna put some more plugs in. I only mentioned Make Love, not porn. There's also beautifulagony.com.
Beautiful what?
Beautiful Agony.
Spell it.
Beautiful
Uh-huh.
Agony.
Agony. Okay. I thought you said
Yeah.
acme. I'm like, what the fuck?
BEAU.
Like acne? Like bumps?
IFUL.
Yeah.
AGONY.
Beautiful Agony. Okay.
Beautifulagony.com.
Okay.
Beautiful Agony. And this, I'm sorry to the person earlier, like almost an hour ago, maybe 30 minutes ago, who was saying, who started to bring up lesbian porn specifically and what I personally would like to see.
Yeah.
The reason why I say he had missed the point a little bit, it's not about what I want to see. It's more of the difference between the male gaze and the female gaze, for one. So it's not what I personally want to see. It's literally the difference between being extremely direct and going around the bush, which is something that's going to be a more feminine trait. Sometimes it's a setup, like something that's more easy to grasp is nice setups, nice lead up into the sex. Right. To give some type of storyline. That's why a lot of women like to watch plot, even if it's a ridiculous plot that'll make you laugh.
I never really watch plot. I always skip past that shit.
Yeah. And sometimes if the plot is trash, you can fast forward a little bit, but then you always end up rewinding, like, when did we get here? You know, how did that happen? But since the 90s, there hasn't been actually a lot of plot setups either. Yeah. That's really more of a vintage thing. And 90s is now considered vintage porn.
Right.
So then, anyway, going back into something that's a little bit more abstract.
Right.
So you have Beautiful Agony, with Beautiful Agony, what they do is they shoot you from the shoulders up.
Shoulders up.
So
okay.
It's just pretty much a tight shot over your face.
Okay.
Usually it's a laying down position in the aerial view, so there's some type of camera set up above your bed or above whatever you're going to be laying down on top of. There are a few that I've seen that have been like different angles, but most of them are shots of pretty much your face up. You're not going to see any, actual body parts. And it's either the person that's being recorded is playing with themselves, or maybe they have a partner there that's off camera. You can't see what they're doing, but they're pleasuring them in some type of way, and all you get is their facial expressions throughout the entirety of the process until they come.
That is really interesting.
It is it is very sensual. It gets the job done.
Well, I'm just gonna be a little bit straightforward about myself. Probably don't want to see my face expression when that's happening.
I see a lot of men think that, and that's really sad.
No. Trust me, I have this really stupid thing that I do where I stick my tongue out, but not like sticking my tongue out, but like just a little tip of my tongue, like. It looks really dumb.
I've been having sex with men for the past 10 years. I don't think I've heard one man that I've had sex with in the past 10 years tell me that they think that they are attractive when
they're having sex.
You know what I'm saying? Their old face is attractive. Okay.
But you think it is.
I am a straight woman, straight enough. So yes, I do think a man's old face is attractive. It might be a little funny. Think about how retarded we look.
Yeah, I mean,
we all look retarded.
I've caught myself literally drooling. Like,
I'm not even gonna get into my but we all feel like we've completely lost control. We don't like necessarily the thought of what we look like when we lose control. But guess what? The partner loves it.
Yeah.
Your partner absolutely loves it. They brought you to that place.
True.
They want to see it.
True, yeah. And I've had the girl hides her face. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, the girl hides her face. Don't look at me. That kind of thing. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. You try to put your hand in your elbow and all this other stuff. Don't hide it. I want to see it. I want to hear you. So that's the point. ASMR. There's a reason why so many people like ASMR.
Oh yeah, there's ASMR porn now.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, ASMR on its own is kind of a fetish. It's like low key.
Yeah.
A fetish.
Yeah.
So some people get soothed to sleep by it. It's not always sexual.
It's so funny. I'm not gonna. But somebody from my church who's like in her like upper age and an older white woman is on the show, and it's pretty funny. But we're talking about it, so it's what it is, man.
Hey, she on it. Look. Sue Johansson was my girl. Sue Johansson taught me everything I need to know.
Do you
at the age
remember?
of 12.
Do you remember what's the name of the woman who did the Herbal Essence commercials?
I don't know the name of the woman, but I do remember those commercials.
Dr. Ruth.
She's got the
Dr. Ruth. She used to have a sex show. Older white woman.
I'm thinking about Sue Johansson, older white lady with the curly hair.
I never heard of her.
I saw a meme recently. They was like, if you know who this lady is, you are a pleaser now. You are a giver.
Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna have to. So hold on. Wait. You just put on a whole bunch of stuff. So Sue Johansson is a sex therapist or something, like a popular
She's like
one.
a sexpert from the early 2000s. I want to say.
Yeah.
Who used to do this late show? I think it's called the Late Night Sex Talk Show or something. Late Night Sex Show. It would come on right after The Simpsons.
Right.
Okay.
That is hilarious.
Like, super early morning, and I remember her playing every like late at night. It get to be like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
Is this like an Atlanta thing or?
No, honey, no.
Huh.
Oh, white lady.
I never heard of this one.
Like, how do you not remember?
I never heard of this
You're
one.
only a few years older than me. How do you not remember this?
I don't know. Well,
Just like Sesame Street.
So here's the thing. I do watch. I have watched some.
Like he ain't never seen no porn, never seen no CJ.
So Maisha says that she remembers that show and she loved it.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Yeah. I'll have to pull up some YouTube links. You know what? That reminds me.
I learned how to put on a condom through that show at 12 years old, which is a great age to learn that.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? I learned a lot of different things. You don't learn nothing. You learn some things. It's basically a whole bunch of people call up to the show and say, "Hey, I'm having this issue with my boyfriend or our sex life. Give me some advice," and then she'll give advice.
Do you watch Dr. Drew when you were younger? He had a radio show. I used to listen to that. He used to have call in, and it used to always be like young kids asking sex questions and stuff.
See, I wouldn't ask too many sex questions to a man.
Huh.
And I get that I'm a woman.
Yeah.
But when I think about, I'm a grown woman right now.
Right.
When I think about, again, I've been sexually active for 10 years. I lost my virginity at 19 years old. And when I think about of the 10 years that's gone by, if I were to do a database on the guys who actually knew what they were doing, to some extent, it's a very small amount. It's a very, very small amount. And then the guys of that amount who knew kind of what they were doing, of those guys who were actually able to make, bring me pleasure, like to the highest extent, it was like 3.
Right.
2, 3. 3. I was about to say 4, but no, 3. 3. 3. 3. 3.
But here's the thing. The thing is that
I'm not gonna take sex advice from him.
Yeah, I understand. And you're talking about black men, right?
I've had sex with more than black men.
Okay. Well, I've only been with black women.
Boy.
And I noticed that there is a stigma in the black community about sex and sexuality being something that we don't address with our parents. That's changing a lot. Yeah. It's changing a lot, but especially if you grew up in a religious family, it was out of the question. You don't talk about it. You don't partake in it, and I don't want to hear nothing about it. And you kind of just go in blindly. And so
I understand that. I too, me too. I didn't learn anything about sex at all from my mother. Not even about just my reproductive organs or periods or anything. I didn't learn anything about that from my mother at the right time anyway. She tried to give me a sex talk when I was 16. I was like, no.
Right. And, you're rare too because I didn't.
But I was like, you are way too late.
Right. And you're rare too because I'm one of the people like you as well who didn't break until I was like 19. Yeah. 18, 19. Well, 17.
Sue Johansson, my big sister and Sue Johansson did everything for me that I needed.
Yeah, I lost Facebook again. Damn. Son of a bitch.
Let me get on Facebook and tell them to come to IG. My bad. I was supposed to do that a long time ago.
Okay, it's Instagram.com/bloomerpod. BLOOMER.
Text it to me.
POD. Huh? Text it to you? Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. Hey, guys, so...
Wait, I think I added you on the Bloomer. I think I added the podcast.
Yeah, I believe so. But if you send this hyperlink, hold on, I'm going to give you the hyperlink.
Yeah, do that for me.
Instagram. I don't know if the phone dies, does the Facebook go and like upload it anyway. I don't know.
I think so. Isn't that what happened last time?
I think so. Yeah.
It uploaded up to the point where it died.
Yeah. So you can in the comment section put that hyperlink, and I believe it will take you directly to the page, and then the live is up there.
Yeah, it sends you directly to the page. Give me a second.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, sexuality and sex, I mean, the crazy part is that everybody is fucking all the time. But no one talks about it. It's so weird.
Talking about it now, baby. Definitely talking about it now.
Yeah, and then, you know, Beaches said, and that's one thing about a man, is that you can't admit. I mean, I don't know about, I just know that it's tough for a black man to admit that he does not know something. And so I wouldn't see a man in my culture or age group go into a sexual situation and be and I don't know this, I'm just saying from what I hear from women, and say, you know, I've never done this before, can you help me? Well, they go into it like, yeah, I'm the best, and I do blah, 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 but then they're trash. And that's what she said in the comments. She said she's surprised how many guys act like they're good at sex, like sex gods, and they're trash in bed. And one thing about me is like I've always been a goofball, a cornball, but I've never been like walking around like I'm the best at sex. But I don't know, from my experiences, I seem to have had happy customers because they always return. It's stupid. But I've never had an issue where someone was just like completely like just like that was horrible. And then,
well, there's a reason for that. But shall I explain?
Yeah, please.
What? Not all women are the same.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but most women,
yes,
are not trying to. We have to kind of watch. Like you were saying, a lot of guys don't like to hear that they're doing something wrong or that they don't know what they're doing. A lot of guys overreact when they are challenged in such a way, especially by a woman.
Or go, I don't need no toys. You better, I'll do it myself. Fuck with that toy. I'm all man. I don't need that toy.
Yeah, so that happens. All types of things happen. So it could be something as much as them just saying something. It could go as far as them being violent, especially black men. Which I know that's horrible to say.
Damn.
But it's it's part of the culture. You know? Violence is part of our culture. How does the statement go? Who made that statement? Yeah, go get it. Somebody made a statement. They said to be black and to be conscious, relatively conscious, in this country is to be in a state of rage at all times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of truth to that statement. Of course, black people don't walk around angry all the time, but it's kind of like a deep-rooted thing. Like it's in there that like this shit is fucked up. Like everything about our existence in this particular country is a pretty fucked up experience. Even our holidays are fucked up. You know, we get the shortest month of the year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They teach these same 3 people in Black History Month all the way until you get pretty much up to high school.
Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman,
you know what I'm saying?
And Malcolm X, Rosa Parks.
you get Harriet Tubman. You might get Sojourner Truth.
You
might
get a little Thurgood Marshall in there. You know.
Maybe, like in high school though, not in elementary going up through middle school.
Yeah.
In high school, you might get a little extra somebody in there. George Washington Carver,
Ooh, the Peanut.
You know
Man.
what I'm saying? The Peanut and and the traffic light. You know.
Yeah.
But they are not going to admit to all the different things that black people have done for this country, have created in this country. The culture that we continuously spew that gets taken and recycled and called somebody and renamed as their own for every music genre, for every style, for everything. So we're not gonna get into that right now.
Right. But can you say that the art form, right, of filming yourself having sex with someone, right, coming in their face and then showing it to the camera. Can you say that that's a particularly white American art form that was created that now blacks partake in?
I wouldn't know because I don't know how far. I haven't studied enough to know how far back certain forms of humiliation go.
Yeah.
As far as humiliation being a kink,
Yeah.
but I can say that coming on somebody's face is a showing of power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's about power.
Right.
So
right.
I mean, you can easily tie. You can easily connect the dots.
No, what I'm saying is what we know as pornography today, right?
Mm-hmm. Like I just said, you could connect the dots if you wanted to and say that's where it stemmed from.
Right. I'm saying like the most popular, when it became mainstream and normalized for there to be pornography, it was made popular by white Americans with the movie Deep Throat. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
And so my guess is, what I'm saying is, like, I think that the reason why what you see...
So, wait a minute. You saw Deep Throat?
I don't watch porn. I just heard about it,
Uh-huh.
No, but what I'm saying is, I actually saw it's actually kind of trash. It's not even as good as people say it is. But it was a cultural phenomenon, and it was an actual movie that was filmed and like released in theaters or whatever. But
yeah.
But I'm trying to say this. What I'm trying to say is this. Do you think that the reason why porn has so many racist and demeaning tropes against black women is because it's a predominantly white art form that now black people are taking part of?
I think black people have always taken part of it. I just think that there's more black people now because of the same reasons there's more black people everywhere.
But are there black porn studios that create good black quality, high HD black pornography content?
For the same exact reasons why there's not a lot of black owned anything.
So there needs to be a porn Tyler Perry that comes out and just makes his own like porn empire.
There needs to be way more than one. Just like there's a Tyler Perry and there's a Jordan Peele and there's a Spike Lee and there's a Issa Rae and there is a Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
There needs to be more than just one person creating content for the entirety of a whole race of people.
But here's the question I have. Do we need a porn Tyler Perry?
I would like to not use Tyler Perry's name.
Damn. Okay, a porn Jordan Peele, someone who's a visionary in the black.
Different people of color creating content for us? Yes, most definitely.
Someone said, I think it was Louis C.K. Yeah.
Do we need more women creating content?
Yeah.
That can be as plentiful and bountiful as what we see on these free porn sites? Yes, most definitely. Do we need more healthy sex practices? Period. Yes. Do we need to start having actually more of the body and sexual forms shown in movies rather than blood, guts, and gore being normalized? Yes. I would much rather see tits than blood in movies.
That's a trip too. The fact that we're able to accept somebody's guts falling out, but we won't accept some kind of like form of romance.
The extremes when it comes to gore and violence in American films and TV shows. We push to the extremes of going so far as to see somebody's head smashed in, and like we want to see the eyeball pop out. We want to see the brains. We want to see the intestines falling out of their stomachs. And that doesn't turn our stomachs. In fact, sometimes we even laugh. You know what I'm saying? We've gotten to that point where we're so desensitized to the violence. But then we see a titty. We see Janet Jackson's titty, and the whole country shut the fuck down.
Right. In one of the most violent sports of all time.
Perfect point. Right?
Yeah, you can watch people smash people's heads in, but we can't watch a titty.
People, NFL players get whole concussions and die, or become vegetables,
or go crazy like Hernandez and start shooting niggas.
There's a whole movie called Concussion. Will Smith. It probably was a really good movie. I really should have seen it. It flopped because it was too real.
And his Nigerian accent is very bad.
His accent is very
Wakanda forever.
I mean, the NFL wasn't having that. We're not gonna let you really make a point and say what we doing to these black niggas in this We don't give a fuck about these black bodies. We don't give a fuck about these black
I
bodies.
mean, it's
Buy them
just
out
modern
school.
slavery, to be honest, because the money that
It
they
is.
make. Yeah.
It is. It's all related. It all comes back around full circle to the bullshit of this country.
Right.
But back to porn.
Porn, yeah. So I think that porn is just. There's so many people that say they don't watch porn, but it's one of the biggest industries of all time. So somebody's lying. You know, a lot of people are lying.
You?
I mean, I don't include in that. I never watch the shit. I'm just, I feel like it's important for me to talk about it because it is something that exists. But I would never partake in such demeaning acts to watch other people having sex on film. Ugh, what is wrong with you?
I can believe you when you say you never watched gay porn.
I definitely have never watched gay porn.
I know you have. That's the only thing you've been telling the truth about.
But there's one thing that I saw that was pretty interesting was that Daniel Tosh had a segment on his show where straight men would watch gay porn, and if they got hard, then they would get like,
oh god,
stupid shit like that. No, but I think that I'm securing my manhood enough at this point to watch gay porn and just see what's going on over there on that side.
For research purposes?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I've said it before. I think I said it on another podcast. There's a lot of strikes against me as far as my acceptance of things. And the fact that I'm even accepting is pretty miraculous because I'm Jamaican.
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey. There's like I'm very heavily steeped in hip hop culture, which is very misogynistic and homophobic.
Yeah.
I grew up in the church.
Yeah.
So there's so many reasons why I would be, on the bad side of this whole movement.
Yeah.
But fortunately, I don't have that animosity in me, and honestly, I think that if Jesus was out, he would be,
watching gay porn too. Let me shut up.
No, stupid. No, not why. That he would be pro, gay rights and trans rights. Yeah.
I would think that as well. Did it rain a little bit? I guess it did. I would think that as well. I'm not going to get into any Bible quotes or anything like that at all. So
let's not do that. Yeah. So what do you think is the solution, like you said? Or is there a solution? Is there a thing that we can come to a conclusion, a wrapping that says, like, hey, porn is misogynistic, racist, disrespectful to women, disrespectful to women of color. Is there anything that we can say or do?
Like I said, just like we have our Tyler Perrys and our Jordan Peels and our Shonda Rhimes and our Issa Rae and our Spike Lees and our, at this point, I think Denzel Washington has started directing movies.
Yeah.
Is like the same way we have all these different types of people who have popped up within the last pretty much 10 years to finally fill that void in that particular entertainment industry. We can do the same thing within this industry. I mean, but it's like, it's slow going. Like,
right.
I don't know how many women have taken a stand in the last 20 years within the porn industry to create their own websites and their own content that they know is going to be for women. And like I said, I only gave you guys 2 examples. There's plenty more because if there's any women who are watching this right now and you want to find some good ish, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm going to do another plug for you. Okay. There's hysterical literature.
What?
Hysterical literature, which is actually, it got popular. It's not even considered porn. It was on YouTube, actually. And it was like the series of sessions that got really popular, and it became a parody, and of course it got made fun of, and it ended just like that because men decided to make fun of it because men don't understand how women work. But it was a series, like 6 different sessions of different women reading their favorite book, their favorite passage from their favorite book while being stimulated underneath the table. And there's one with a porn star. There's actually a porn star. I think her name is Stella. So she has a session.
Stella!
There's another one with this black girl named Soleil. That's my favorite one, of course, because I like to watch black people in any type of way, shape, or form, sensually. And it's a great little series. And then, of course, like, this is an old series. This came out, somewhere early 2000s, maybe mid 2005, 10, 8, something like that. And then, of course, there were the parodies that came right after of like what would this look like if guys did it.
Right.
And there were parodies there, and then there were some other parodies that came out, and of course it became a dead thing, right? But it didn't have to become a dead thing. This could have gone somewhere. Either way, I got off to 2 of those sessions.
Okay, what is it called?
Because they were amazing. Hysterical literature.
Hysterical literature. Okay.
The name being brought forth, when they used to say that women had hysteria in the olden times of diagnosing women with their psychological whatever. And they're like, oh, she has hysteria, and they would basically give them an orgasm so they can calm the fuck down.
Wow. Don't
tell me you never heard about that.
I think
this is back in our Freud days.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I did hear about that.
Yeah, that's when the vibrator was created.
Wow.
As a medical prop.
Matter of fact, I think that the whole entire industry of gynecology is pretty much based off of racist and immoral practices.
Trash.
Yeah.
It's pretty trash.
Shit that they should not have been doing, but overall ended up helping women in general, but still shouldn't have been done in the first place.
As a whole, in a general sense, the medical industry and science still can't explain fully the female orgasm and how it works
or the purpose of it.
We've only just recently discovered that the clit is actually this whole entire giant thing. It's not just the little nub.
Oh yeah. It's it has like all those different nerves that extend off of it and all.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I can't describe it, but it has like 4 parts, right? 3 parts, 4 parts.
There's a lot of actually. I mean, I would say there's a main 4.
Yeah, it's just not that little nubbin that sticks out the top.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So like, a vaginal orgasm, that's not even really a real thing. That's like because it's all clitoral. The clitoris goes inside the vagina too.
Wow.
It's inside and around, and so it's like, yeah, that's not a vaginal orgasm just because it's inside the vagina. It's still clit. It's all clit. That's where we get all the pleasure from. The whole thing. The whole thing. So interesting, right?
Right. Yeah.
The only part that's exposed is that little nub. The rest is internal.
So all these discoveries have come from immoral practices?
No, I don't think. No, I think I don't know. I don't. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what they do to discover certain things. I don't know if they do autopsies and say, hey, you know what? This whole little thing is actually part of this clit.
Right.
I don't know what they do.
Yeah, but I mean, we're getting off topic, but we were talking about the porn industry, so I think we pretty much covered everything, didn't we? I mean, except for the whole sex trafficking and the problematic things with women getting strung out on drugs and being abused in the industry and all that other stuff that's been going on, right?
I think there were some more points I wanted to make about feminine porn being kind of outside of the box. Like, I gave some examples of, hey, here's something that can get a woman off, and it's literally just a face. Here's another one where somebody's reading, and you're going to hear them moan as they, can't really take reading anymore.
Right. Mm-hmm.
There's also a particular artist. She's kind of in between being considered a performance artist and her work being sort of pornographic. What she does is she takes fruit, and this has been turned into a joke as well. What she does is she takes fruit and she fingers the fruit very sensually, very slowly. The fruit is always extremely ripe, so it's really juicy, and it'll be things like grapefruits. It's usually something that has a seed that's in the middle. Yeah. So when she takes the seed out and cuts it in half, it's gonna look like a vagina. And then she'll take it and she'll just start stroking it. It'll be like what I think people have made a lot of GIFs out of them, so where they're just like quick little things, like a few seconds. But I think she takes like a good 5 minutes with each one of them. And
so she
fucks the fruit basically with her fingers.
Oh wow!
With her fingers, and it's sensual, and you watch it and I'm telling you, you feel some type of way. You watch it and you feel some type of way.
Like hungry?
No.
I'm not. See, that's the thing. Like you're saying, like this shouldn't be made fun of, and I'm probably gonna make fun of.
It's being made fun of, and it's been made fun of. It's been made fun of. But at the end of the day, I remember when they first started cycling around. I remember when I first saw these GIFs, and people have seen this a few years ago.
Yeah.
Of this fruit just being fondled,
right.
And people were like, "What is this?" And it was an artist. It was a performance artist.
Right. I thought you were talking about the girl with the grapefruit that goes.
Oh no. I'm talking about there's a particular artist.
Yes.
I wish I knew her name right now. She'll take fruit, she'll cut it in half.
Yeah.
And she'll take the seed out. You won't see her to do all this. You won't see all the prep. You just see this fruit on a white background. And she takes different types of fruits, like peaches, plums. She'll just cut to a different fruit. And you'll see her finger, stroking around the fruit, touching it a little bit with a little bit more pressure.
Yeah.
Going to a certain part. She'll touch a certain part and it'll just juice up. It looks exactly like what it, And after a while, you're like, and she's touching it just right.
You forget that it's a fruit or something.
You almost.
That's funny.
You'd be like, hey, look, she's actually doing this. That's how I want to be touched right there. You're like, that's it right there. That's it. That's how you do it.
Right. Well, that's all those things sound really interesting, and I would like to, check those things out. I can't put the links in the bio on YouTube, unfortunately, because they're.
You can put the links for hysterical literature.
Okay.
You can put the links for beautiful agony.
Okay.
You can put the link for make love, not porn.
Okay, I'll do that. But here's the thing.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was about to say there's another particular porn that I've seen in college. Nobody knows. We used to call it the file because it just moved around my college. So I don't know how to find it now. We called it the file.
The file. Okay.
It was experimental artistic porn. It was some of the most beautiful shit I've ever seen in my life, and I never have seen it again. I don't know how to find it. So if anybody's seen this,
she's just trying to find the shit that she saw.
No, the first clip, the first scene, was of these two people dressed completely in nylon, like spandex, like the stuff that pantyhose are made out of. It's like full bodysuits made out of nylon, and they're like, rubbing on each other and trying to kiss each other, but they can't really touch each other. They can't really kiss each other because they have this nylon on.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, here comes this knife and scissors and stuff, which goes into knife play, like a knife play fetishism type of thing. And they're slowly cutting away. Like one of them cuts the mouth part open. Another person cuts the thigh part open, whatever. They're slowly cutting away at this stuff so that they can actually touch each other and kiss each other. And then, of course, eventually they cut it all away and they get to fucking. It's great. That's the first opening scene.
Cool.
And every single one of them was completely different. It was just kind of like, it's like the Black Mirror of porn, because every scene was completely different concept, completely different way of going about editing it. One was really creative. One of them was kind of like that pagan poetry video, which you can link that. The pagan poetry video that Bjork made. That's my favorite song by Bjork. In that song, there's clips of her having sex with her husband at the time, her husband at the time.
Right.
And they do it in a very artistic way to where sometimes you can't even tell what you're looking at, and then they'll take the blur off and put the color back in and whatever, and you'll see, oh, she's sucking dick. Okay, I thought that was something completely different. I was like, oh, she's riding him now, great. Then you get to the point where you can actually see without them making it a clear picture. Now you know what's going on. You see the motion, and you're like, yep, that's a dick going into a vagina. But you can't, if a kid watched it, it'd just be shapes.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen that.
Pagan poetry is my favorite music video.
Yeah.
There was stuff like that in that particular the file.
Okay.
that was like went around
the file. Well, like I said, I'm in a remote location. The quiet time is supposed to be 10 p.m. over here. They were courteous enough to let me continue past the time, so I'm probably disturbing people. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay.
And you should also wrap it up. If you partake in any sexual activity, wrap that sucker up. Because it's not worth getting...
That's why porn is safe.
Right, that's why porn is safe.
That's the way we're supposed to quarantine sex. Right now.
Wrap that shit up, B. But yeah, I thank everyone who came to the live. Maisha, Ron B the homie, Preem, 666 Grim Reaper 777. Thank you for coming. And everyone else who was on the other live that came up earlier. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for checking out the Late Bloomer podcast, and thank you to Jerry for coming by a second time in a row to be my guest.
Who are we sponsored by this time?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this episode is sponsored by my favorite product, Quarter Water. It's pretty much Kool-Aid, but it's not really Kool-Aid. And it comes in a little chubby bottle. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's sugar water with dye in multiple different colors. And it's a hood favorite. So
I'm going to go ahead and say we're also sponsored by a little plug in there for Carlos Miller, because I love him.
Carlos Miller.
Yeah.
Well, Blue giving us no checks, so I'm going to bleep them out until they do.
But let it be known that I love Carlos Miller.
Carlos Miller? Who is that?
I see you grinding.
Is he the guy who made...
No, he didn't make it. He's just being sponsored by them.
Oh, okay.
He's been pushing it hard.
That's what's up. I can't wait till I get some of those real sponsors. But for now, it's all about the quarter water. And thank you, Chubby, and everybody who fucks with that. And also penny candies. So you get $1, you got 100 of them suckers.
And shout out to the sidewalks, keeping me off the streets.
And shout out to all my fans for keeping me cool. All right, y'all. Hey, Jerry.
What's up?
I meant to get you some updog.
Updogs? What is that?
You know updog?
Huh?
You don't have any updog?
What is an updog? Is this
Nothing. What's up with you, dog?
Yeah, it's set up for a joke. That's what I should have figured. Oh, you're so lame. Cringeworthy.
Yeah, that was the point.
You're a dad, though. I get
Dad
it.
joke. Dad joke of the day. That's gonna be my new segment. Dad joke of the day.
You should have a dad joke of the day.
All right, y'all. Peace. Keeping it okay.